Are you looking for a safe place to invest your money? Do you dream of an investment that offers you guaranteed profits? One of the best options for investing is in the stock market. However, the stock market is also one of the most volatile options out there, so before buying shares left and right, you should know which companies are the most profitable to multiply your money. Are you ready to discover your best options? My name is Alex, and the purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you reach financial independence as soon as possible. If you find this helpful, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. It's totally free. Now let's get back to the video. Today, we will take a tour of the companies with the highest growth rate in 2023, which promise higher dividends and more attractive returns for their investors. Investing in company shares is an excellent way to increase the value of your money in the long term, especially when they offer dividends. That is, when they share with you a small piece of the pie they are working on. The truth, however, is that nothing guarantees that you will make big profits. Much of the market is fleeting, and brands that are in their prime today could crash overnight. And no, it is not pessimistic speculation, but something that has been repeated several times in the history of the economy, where giants that seemed unbeatable collapsed overnight. Despite this, it cannot be denied that the benefits that this type of investment promises are quite attractive, especially since they do not require any extra effort on your part. You don't have to spend money, attention, or ingenuity. Once you buy shares, their value grows on its own, as long as you've made a smart decision. So this is a risk worth taking, and the smartest way to do that is by betting on the companies with the highest dividend growth rate. What does that mean? In simple terms, it is the profitability of the company from the perspective of the investor. It is the company sharing with you a small part of its profits. The amount, of course, will depend on how many shares you have. Since its founding, the actions of a company have experienced changes, growth, and falls. By analyzing the evolution of its dividends, it is possible to make a projection of how profitable that company will be in the future. In a sense, it's like betting on a horse race. Before you put your money into one of the horses, you'd probably check the results of past races for the horse that has won the most consistently. That makes you more likely to recover your money. In the same way, the dividend growth rate summarizes the increase in the value of a company within the last year or a longer period of time. Luckily, investing in the stock market, even some that might be considered risky, is still a much safer alternative to betting on the races. Those companies that experience greater growth are a safe bet since, statistically, they show a tendency to continue growing. That is, if they are doing well, it is quite likely that they will continue to improve and that your investment will grow with them. Therefore, that is where you should direct your investment, not betting on fast-growing companies but on those with stable growth. Now, what are the most profitable companies to buy shares in today? Taking into account the growth factor, we present Number 1. Microsoft. This technological giant has been present in the industry since 1975, when Bill Gates and Paul Allen founded a company based on the nascent personal computer technology. Their foray led to a technological success that has firmly established them at the top of this sector, growing steadily through the decades. Its track record of dividends paid to shareholders demonstrates the financial strength of investing in Microsoft. In addition, it shows a growth trend, which means that its value is not stagnant, but continues to increase every year. In fact, during 2022, the company obtained a net profit of more than $72 billion. Its scope is international, and its products are present in most homes, from their computers to their consoles, operating systems, and online services. In the last 5-year cycle, its value has been increasing year after year, currently offering a dividend yield of 1.63%. This may not seem like the most lucrative number, but it is a fairly stable percentage that generates sure profits in the medium and long term. For this reason, it is one of the most attractive options for those who are thinking of investing with a view to recovering constant dividends. Number 2. Devon Energy. The energy market is quite a lucrative industry, and Devon Energy has seized its opportunities since John Nichols established it in 1971 with headquarters in Oklahoma. After decades in the business world, it has managed to position itself as one of the independent leaders in the extraction of oil and natural gas. Since its founding, it has grown to the point of acquiring and absorbing more than a dozen competing companies and integrating their infrastructure into its production system, multiplying its own value and expanding more and more, which has also opened up opportunities. Most profitable investment opportunities for new international shareholders. Despite operating in a volatile sector with many ups and downs, its shareholder dividends have not been compromised. Since 2005, participants have been earning positive dividends regardless of declines in oil prices and other economic factors. And in the last decade, its growth rate has skyrocketed more than ever to stand at 1.62%. These figures support the reliability of Devon Energy as an excellent investment option with a stable and promising financial projection for the next decade. Number 3. AT&T. Founded in 1885 under the name of the Bell Telephone Company, AT&T's history is quite long. With more than a century in operation, its telecommunications services are among the most prestigious worldwide. It is also recognized as the largest telecommunications company on the planet, and one of the main providers of cellular networks, fixed telephone lines, and 4G and 5G connections. But in addition to being present in the mobile network industry, it has also ventured into other sectors thanks to its acquisitions, becoming a huge conglomerate with diversified activities, which protects its value when one of its subsidiaries suffers losses. Thanks to this, shareholders can be sure that their dividends are always safe and continue to rise year after year. Having been established since its origins as a joint stock company, it is open to investors and built to favor their interests. Because of that, AT&T currently offers a rate of return of 5.64%, one of the highest in the high-yield stock market. Therefore, it is worth considering them as a serious option to generate constant income. Number 4. Philip Morris. The largest tobacco company in the world, owner of 15% of the world's cigarette market, has almost 2 centuries of history. Philip Morris started out as a family store but soon became a limited company, and by the end of the 20th century, they were an international company. Little by little, it has been climbing to become the main reference for the tobacco industry worldwide. However, its biggest move occurred in 2008, when it was separated from the Altria Group. This operation notably increased the value of its shares, which have maintained a positive performance ever since. All these factors have allowed its stock market value to be stable and its dividends to be attractive. Its growth rate in the cycle from 2019 to 2023 presents a return of 5.21%, with an upward trend that has been maintained for more than a decade, and it does not seem that this will change in the coming years. Without a doubt, it is an alternative to take into account when investing in shares. Number 5. Intel. Another of the greatest technological pioneers of microprocessors. Since its creation in 1968, it has established itself as the leading producer of processors for electronic devices. There are many large companies that purchase their products, which have been present in a global market for decades. They have not only created essential components for the evolution of personal computers, but also for mobile devices, being one of the main providers in the smartphone sector. Their dominance in the industry marks them as a key player that will stay at the forefront of the market for decades to come with more fundamental innovations for electronic products, which have become indispensable in everyday life. And this pillar role allows its actions to be solid and stable, paying lucrative dividends, but above all, being constant. The latest assessment of its growth rate put Intel's profitability at 1.69%. As if that weren't enough, the company adds incentives to the regular payouts with special dividends that are frequently offered to further the interests of its shareholders. Number 6. Ford Motors. Created by the famous Henry Ford in 1903, the automobile manufacturing company is a solid multinational and an industrial benchmark. Their vehicles boast a legacy as impressive as their market value. For more than a century, Ford products have shaped all sectors of motorsport, spanning all continents with their motorized models and concepts that renew the market annually. All this leadership is also reflected in financial matters, where their commercial sales and corporate movements keep them rising in the stock market. Despite the fierce competition that exists within this sector of the industry, the American manufacturer remains in the lead thanks to the long positive history of the brand and its constant innovations. For this reason, it is a very reliable option when investing. Its growth rate is constant and increases year after year. Currently, its profitability stands at 5.12%, a fairly high and profitable figure. In addition, its dividend payments are systematic and frequent, so shareholders perceive its profits at a higher rate than those of other companies in the sector. Number 7. The Coca-Cola Company. Since its invention in 1886, Coca-Cola has become a common drink in almost every home in the world. What started as a sugary fizzy drink has grown to become a global phenomenon. The company that markets it has a global reach and enjoys incredible popularity, which is why its sales remain stable every year. In addition, it offers a line of beverage variants of the original formula that further increases its profitability in the soft drink market. This marketing strategy keeps the brand current and stabilizes its profits with upward trends that have been evident for decades. But not only is its product attractive to consumers, its actions are attractive to investors. The dividend payment is constant and punctual, highly reliable, and highly profitable. Its rate of return is 3.2%, which equates to an attractive profit of $1.60 per share per year. If you want to see your money multiply passively, the Coca-Cola Company could be one of your best options. Number 8. Johnson & Johnson. Immersed in the health sector, the multinational Johnson & Johnson is one of the main exponents in the manufacture of medical products, focused mainly on the care of babies. It is such a lucrative industry that the company is among the 50 companies with the highest annual revenue in the United States. They operate in dozens of countries and market in almost 200 territories. Its origins date back to 1885, which is why it has proven to enjoy lasting and sustainable stability in the financial landscape. Their offer includes medical devices, daily care items, pharmaceuticals, and first aid supplies. Legally, it is formed as a public company, so it welcomes new investors and shareholders all the time. It does so through a reliable and constant payment system, guaranteeing that your money always generates economic benefits for you. Its profitable growth rate is 3.04%. If that percentage doesn't sound very impressive to you, put it in this perspective. In 2019, the company paid out more than $5 billion in dividends, so it is worth considering this investment option. Number 9. American Express. What better investment option than a financial services company? American Express has a long history that supports its reliability. In operation since 1850, this corporation is among the 100 largest companies in the world, and it not only offers credit card and travel services, but is also involved in insurance, banking, and travelers' checks. It is a large international network whose infrastructure provides the necessary financial strength to be a macroeconomic company that you can use from almost anywhere in the world. It is also established as a public company, so its policies are very advantageous for its investors. Among their shareholder payment programs, they offer quarterly dividends. This means you could earn up to 4 times a year instead of just once, accruing a 1.5% rate of return. And that's just one of the many reasons why American Express presents itself as a very lucrative investment alternative, especially for those who prefer to receive more constant payments backed by a diversified and widespread entity. Number 10. Annaly Capital Management. Unlike the previous options, Annaly Capital Management is an investment fund that was created in 1996 with headquarters in New York City. It does not have decades of experience, but it does have enough capacity to function in the capital management and mortgage markets. Its rapid growth is the product of its good administration and commercial vision. While it doesn't have the popularity of other high-yield companies, it does offer unique benefits, such as exposure to real estate, an area rife with financial opportunities. On the other hand, the rapid rise experienced by Annaly Capital Management gives its shares enormous potential. Unlike companies established for more than 50 years, this mutual fund is far from peaking, so your shares could see an unprecedented increase. And as proof of this, its current rate of return is 11%, a figure that could continue to increase in the coming years. However, you should take into account that its dividend payment is made annually, so you will not get immediate benefits when you buy shares of Annaly Capital Management. If you want to learn more about investing and personal finance, then you must watch this video where I talk about the most important index fund that has 500 companies, including those listed in this video.